This is Capri Smith, the Uncuffed living expert, based out of the DMV. But if you're tuned in, you're probably tuning in from all over the world. To you, I say welcome.
And hello, this is Capri Smith, the Uncuffed living expert. And I am so excited to bring you week after week Women Uncuffed TV. I thought it was a wonderful time to take a break and say, hey guys, how are you doing? Every year we make these amazing resolutions in January, and then by February we're a little burnt out. Well, guess what? It's March, and we don't want to get into a position where we're burning out. This is spring, a season of new birth. In the Maryland, Virginia, Pennsy area, we have been experiencing some crazy weather, and I'm guessing it's like that everywhere. So you're a little confused if you're like me. Like, is it nap time? Is it morning time? Is it winter? Is it spring? What is it? A lot of my lessons and my training is centers around the time of year, because the time of year really speaks to how we feel emotionally and how much motivation we have to get things done, how much urgency we have to get things done. So with that being said, even though the weather is crazy, doesn't mean you get to be in your business. I'm talking to the ladies today who may be experiencing some type of lack mindset. So let's break down what that truly means. What is a lack mindset? A lack mindset is a mindset where you believe the lies you were told. You believe that if you spend that dollar, another one isn't coming. You believe that you shouldn't invest in other women, especially because you could do the same things that they're doing. Now, trust me, we can all multitask and we're all fabulously talented in many areas. However, we're not all experts within our different fields. I'm the only uncuffed living expert in the world. And what that means is that I'm the only retired police detective who is a professor, who knows what it means to come from an abusive home, who knows what it means to train other women and how to tap into their feminine energy, and who also does things every day to stretch myself. But if you say, wait, I know people just like that, then I would say, do they own a nonprofit where they teach families how to live healthy, happy lives harmoniously, where they don't have to fight each other? And if you say, yeah, actually, I know someone started a nonprofit who combats domestic violence too, then I would ask you, do you know someone who has 4 sons, one who is autistic? So you see how if we continue to layer our stories and our platforms, we will discover that you are probably the only one of your special thing in the world. So there's no need for us to try to mimic others, and we can truly be authentic. What does authenticity have to do with a lack mindset? It's almost like they are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So we're afraid to be ourselves because we don't think we are good enough. And that lends way to a lack mindset. When you don't think you are good enough, you don't think you deserve abundance and success and happiness. We don't have it clearly defined. So the things I want you to think about as we look at today's show and go through some of the motivations that you're going to see, I want you to think about what habits do you have in your life? What messages are you constantly sending to your own self? What things are constantly being replayed in your life and your habits and your behaviors and the way that you spend your time and your money, what you put your efforts into, that are lending way to your lack mindset? The lack mindset simply means you don't think that you deserve the very best. And so you will never invest in that level. You'll never go out and get the training in that level. And you'll never walk in your full authority of being ultimate and amazing and awesome and constantly stretching. So today's show is all about the lack mindset. What are you keeping from yourself?
The highly anticipated Miss and Mrs. Corporate America pageant is right around the corner, and you can be part of the 10th annual competition that empowers professional women. We invite Miss, Mrs., and teen contestants to apply for this opportunity to build lifelong friendships, participate in speaking and networking opportunities, receive national exposure and visibility for your business, and promote your own personal community platform. This is the chance to be seen and heard by thousands of key business leaders and influencers.
Smith, the Uncuffed living expert. Good morning, everyone. I am stopping through to remind you guys to grind more than you grin. So let me clarify. You may meet people like me who appears to always be smiling. We always seem like we're in a great mood and it's fun to be around us, and that's awesome. You want to make people walk away from you wondering, what the heck was so funny? You can't explain it, but you're laughing at yourself. You're laughing with others. You're smiling. You're inviting people in. But I want to remind you, ladies, that it is okay to rock out your grind. Grind more than you grin. It's great to make others feel good about themselves, but you better be rocking yourself. You better be making yourself feel good. You better be grinding and grinning all the way to the bank. We each have a story to tell. You ought to be telling it. We all have money to make. Go make it. We all have a world to change. Your world doesn't look like mine. It never did, and it never will. I don't expect you to have the same experiences or the same results. I get excited when I see other strong, empowered women doing the thing. So I want you guys to all get up and do it. It is Wednesday. We're somewhere in between, like winter, spring, summer. Who knows? This weather is so crazy. But one thing I know for sure is that women, we are embracing this moment. And guess what? March is our month. Celebrate the baby steps, celebrate the dramatic endings, and celebrate you beginning. And if you haven't started following your dream and your passion yet, do it now. Remember, today is the day to live uncuffed, and every day that you're not living uncuffed and you're not rocking out your business, your clients will know. They won't invest in you until you are investing in yourself. So until next time, we make today the day you honor your uniqueness. You live empowered, strong, and balanced.
Okay, so let's tackle the first big one. The first big thing that we have to remember about a lack mindset is that it does not take $1 million to make $1 million. It does not take 100 grand to make 100 grand. We have to get out of this mindset that we need all of our tools in place, that everything has to be perfectly lined up, and the spirits and the universe has to be aligned in order for you to receive success and abundance. It's a complete lie. There was a time when you needed to make large investments to get your marketing done, to get trained. You had to spend thousands of dollars to get your book edited, to get it published. You had to get it before the perfect audience at the perfect timing. But I'm telling you, this indie entrepreneur world, this indie artist world, this indie everything world, you can be self-proclaimed in many areas, and a lot of resources are available to you. For instance, have you ever heard of YouTube? Of course, you've heard of YouTube. My question is, why haven't you started your own YouTube blog or video log or channel? You may think, well, I could start it, but no one would watch. And if that is what you're thinking, you're 100% correct. If you have a clear, strong message to the world that is unique, it's probably going to help someone. It may not help everyone, but YouTube is a free outlet. It is a free source, and it's a wonderful way to get your message out. And what about blogging? Are you good at writing? What if you're not good at writing, but you have strong messages? I meet a lot of people, a lot of women who have wonderful ideas and they want to talk all day long. But the minute you put your pen to paper, the old fashioned way, the minute you put pen to paper, in today's world, you start typing on a computer, you are really solidifying your ideas and you're placing them in history. You are leaving your mark. It doesn't cost a dime to do that. Facebook, there's so many different social media outlets. There's so many different fancy ways to get your blog out. You could actually start a website or build your own website for completely free for no money. When you get to the more professional level, you do want to purchase your own domain name. You do want to build a more professional website. You want to hire a marketing person or a website person to actually manage your website. But initially starting and for you to get your message started, at least, it doesn't cost any money. Now let's talk about social media. Everyone has a page. In fact, we probably at least belong to 5 different social medias. If you're not using your social media to expand your platform, and if all you're doing is showing up with criticism and negativity of other people and maybe a political stance, you're missing the mark. The money is in your message, and the message can be displayed in social media. In fact, when I don't promote or post motivation, I get inboxes, I get phone calls. Hey, are you okay? I was looking for that morning motivation. I didn't see it. I was wondering what was wrong. And if that isn't happening for you, if people aren't missing your messages and they're missing your postings, then you're probably stuck in a rut and you're posting some things that are antiquated and outdated and things that have already been said. So, in order to stay relevant, you have to stay fresh and new. When we're talking about lack mindset, don't believe the hype that there are the best coaches in the world. Yeah, there are some really, really good ones, but you too could be amazing and good and wonderful. You too could build your own brand and you could stretch that brand. You may be the best, but we won't know it yet because a lot of you guys are afraid to take that first step and to get your message out. So, what I'm encouraging you to do to release your lack mindset, the first thing you need to do is you need to decide how are you going to use the tools that are available to you. You need to identify what are the best tools to initiate your conversations and your messages. I actually like when women test the waters first rather than throwing thousands of dollars into branding and a logo and a website and then realizing that that message is not one you where you want to stay. You then realize that actually I am more interested in talking about this than I am about this. That's what happened to me when I first started speaking publicly and professionally. I started to tell everyone else's story, but it wasn't until I began to tell my own that I realized that I was uncuffed. That terminology was not used as much as it's used today. I have men and women telling me, I'm uncuffed, I'm uncuffed. What does that mean? Initially is what they were asking me, and then I showed them what it meant. And now they're like, I get it. I am uncuffed too. I want to be uncuffed. So that word evolved from many different platforms that I had, and it tied me into a nice, neat package. Oh, I get it. She's doing all these amazing things, but it makes sense. She's living uncuffed. I too want to live uncuffed. So I'm encouraging you not to do what you're probably being told to do, and that's to make sure everything's lined up perfectly. Go out there raw and make it happen and let your actions and your words and the steps that you make define who you are in your message. It can happen. Remember, I'm the Uncuffed Living expert. I'm waiting to see what you are the expert at. Download a free copy of Uncuff My Life and My Business. As you look at this template, this downloadable template, I want you to think about how you're going to affect change in your life and in your business. How are you going to make those six figures without working 24 hours a day in your business? We get it all messed up in that our businesses should be as difficult as our Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I am very lucky in that I'm able to serve my purpose, take care of my family, and play a part in their lives as well as my own. I grinded hard for a number of years until I figured out a number of secrets. What I'm doing with this Uncuff My Life and My Business, your downloadable template, is I'm teaching you guys how to go inward to figure out what works for you or what you may be doing wrong or could do differently so that you don't have to work as hard. So eventually you get to be just like me, at least 5 streams of income. At least. You can always have more, but you need at least 5. So I am also planning a number of live events. If you need a mentor or a coach, you need some tweaking, some fine tuning in your business from a girl who understands what it feels like not to even have enough money to invest in a coach, but taking that leap anyway. And if you're ready to see some changes in your life and in your business, I'm here for you. I'm ready. I invite you to go to capricemith.com, or while you're here at Women Uncuffed, click on the link. Check out the Uncuffed Women's Colloquium. It'll just be me and other women in the room pouring into you. While you're there, join the newsletters. There's so many ways for you to get uncuffed in your life and in your business. I'm here. I'm trying. I need you guys to do your part. So enjoy the read and work through the templates. Fill in the blanks. Till next time, remember, if you're not living uncuffed, you're just not living, and your clients will know. Welcome back. You are tuned into Women Uncuffed TV, and today is all about training you and releasing that lack mindset. There are a few things that we're going to go through. We've already talked a little bit about resources and how to most effectively utilize your resources that are available to you for free, the ones that don't cost a lot of money, especially when you're just starting. You want to just relax, and we feel better when we throw money at things that we believe that that makes us more legitimate. And I'm going to talk about investment toward the end of the show, but right now I want you to tap into your free resources. But we talked about that a little bit, so let's move into the next phase. The next phase is your mindset. You want to get a wonderful coach, and you've heard this over and over and over. And my favorite coaches in the world, the Lisa Nichols, the Rebecca Matthias, the Les Browns, they'll tell you the same thing. You need a coach. Why do you need a coach? Because you need someone to hold you accountable. You need someone to run things off of. You need to tap into their experiences, but you need to tap into their credibility as well. When you hire the right coach for you, you then get to experience that level of success through their eyes. You get to mirror what they do, not copy. Remember, you must stay authentic to your message and your purpose. You can't be them, they've already done that. But what I want you to tap into at this point, and what I want to talk about, is I want to talk about that mindset. Get a coach. You have to invest in a coach. When you think about a coach, think of it in a non traditional sense. Can others accept constant hype? Can others accept constant hype? And by constant hype, I mean your constant hype. Can others buy into what you believed? When I first started speaking and first started coaching, I had no idea how difficult it could be. Now, trust me, I've sat in the interrogation room. I've elicited confessions from hardened criminals, sex offenders, people who have committed some very serious felonious crimes. And it was very easy for me to talk to people because I love people, all people. So I like to understand how the mind works, what made a person do this thing, what made them not do it this way. But when I started to coach, I realized that I was kind of speaking to people just like me, people who had a lot of insight, a lot of experience, but not a lot of training in the entrepreneurial world. So in the corporate world, they were amazing, but in the entrepreneurial world, they were babies. But it was very difficult to tell them that they weren't ready because, like me, they felt like they had it all together and they knew it all. So when I initially started, I always loved to do things my way, and that didn't change when I started to speak and train others. I continued to do things my way. But when I took a step back and invested in that coach and really solidified my messages, when I began to see real differences. Now I was getting paid to speak. Now people were investing in my programs. I didn't have to go out and beg people or discount rates or give them admission for free. They voluntarily stood up and say, I want to hear more about what you have to say. Train me. I want more. I was thirsty. They were thirsty. They were hungry, and they were more hungrier than me to hear my message. I love to speak and I love to train women and empower others, but I realize that that should be paid for and I should not just be giving it away. So when you want to shift your lack mindset, you understand that you must invest in a coach and understand the theory behind can others accept constant hype. Am I uncuffed every day? Yes, I am. Do I still have challenges every day? Yes, I do. But my perspective on what those challenges are, and I see them more as opportunities, it becomes less of a challenge and more of a blessing or reward for me. Many doors have been opened. In fact, I've been very successful in my businesses. My husband, he just opened his own cigar lounge in the DMV. He's actually one of the sponsors for the show. And I just see even my kids' language, that has changed. I see the women around me up leveling. One conversation with one young lady led to a whole movement. I'd like to shout out Marla, folks. Girl, congratulations, the curvy evolutionist. That sparked as a result of one conversation that was less than a minute. So when you start to live in your full authority and authenticity of who you are, you begin to change the lives of all the people around you. So I'm standing in front of this Orioles logo because I love baseball season. It is the American sport. But I want you to think about one thing. See these red lines? See these little symbolisms of what an actual baseball looks like? And then you see how the orange pops out and then the bird appears to stand out even more. What had to happen first is there had to be the white leather part. Then that white leather part had to be sewn together. Then the logo goes on. Then that bird pops out. Think of yourself as that Oriole bird. So we're pushing this logo, which is way bigger than the bird, when we really should be focusing on the bird. So earlier I talked about don't go out and make all of these great big investments because it may change. Trust me, they didn't put an Oreo stamp on the leather before they made it because you may have to throw that leather out and start all over. That is symbolic in your life and in your business. Don't put it all in one basket. You may have to start all over. But to avoid starting all over many times, the first thing I want you to do is to change your mindset. And you may have heard that many times, but what does that truly mean to change your mindset? In order to change something, you have to identify what causes it and what does it lead to. So if you, for instance, you see other women up leveling and becoming very successful, and you wonder why that success hasn't met you yet, you need to be happy for them and not wonder why it hasn't met you. Be happy for them and keep going because it's coming, but it's not coming if you can't celebrate others. When you think about a lack mindset, you want to think about what in your life could you be doing differently when you do things. So if you're not showing up happy and ready and excited about life, no one's going to be happy and excited and to be around you. So your mindset changes could come with first understanding that every single breath, every single moment on the face of this earth is a good moment. And things could always, always be better. And they could always be better because of your actions and the things that you do. So the things you have to think about is how do you tie into this big picture? What do you mean to your community? What do you mean to your family? What do you mean to yourself? How are you devaluing your story? How are you not telling it, not sharing it, not using it as a platform to change others? You have to really think about what opportunities you are missing and stop believing that you have 100 years. You don't. None of us do. We'd like to, but we just don't. So when you stop being lazy and procrastinating and you decide to do things differently, and you decide that the success is right there for you, is on the other side of the door, you go out and get it. So remember that mindset. Think I'm right here in the white leather piece. I'm not prepared to sew things together yet. When you get to that piece where you're sewing things together, you're trying to identify what your story, how will it make sense? So then you invest in a coach. And you're not the logo yet. You're still right here, this little bird. You're doing that self-work. Remember my 5 keys to living uncuffed. Serve your community, serve your own uniqueness, honor your own uniqueness, forgive, give back, constantly stretch yourself. Constantly stretch yourself. If you have not identified and mastered those 5 keys, I'm encouraging you to go to caprismith.com right now and get a copy of my book. In fact, if you email me that you watched this episode, I will give you a copy of the book and you can only pay for the shipping and handling because that's how serious I am about wanting to uncuff a whole nation of women. Stay tuned because when we come back, we're going to talk about the other 2 levels to releasing that lack mindset. We're retraining ourselves today. We'll be right back.
Teresa is a VIP as well. She is an awesome lady of business. Oh my goodness. If you have your own business, you need to talk to this woman right here. Because she has helped me in ways that she has no idea about right now. But and she's also helped a lot of other women. So I want to turn the mic over to you.
I am so humble. Can we just have a round of applause for this woman? Girl, in your moment, you are getting off your mic to all of us. Thank you.
Right.
It's humbling. And people like me, sometimes we need to be humble. I'm not going to say you wrong, because I can, but we need to be humbled and sometimes chin-checked. Everybody say chin-checked. Chin-checked. All of you guys walked up in here in business. Do you know 5 different people yet? Shame on you, right? But you want us to buy from you, right? So I'm going to tell you a little story that's going to change your mind. It's probably going to change your life. It's about the first time I took action as a police officer. I'm a retired cop, Baltimore City, hardcore, 20 years. First time in the car by myself. One of the first times in the car by myself. I'm clearing the corner. Guys, get off the corner. I'm the popo. Get off the corner. They're looking at me like, girl, you're way too cute to be the popo. I was half the woman I am now. So I was way too cute to be a popo. But I had to prove something. Guys, get off the corner. I'm not playing. So now I'm throwing my car in park because as one is walking away, I hear them say something that you should never say to a woman, especially a woman of color. What is that word? I heard the B word. I know, I did not just hear the B word. So I threw the car in park, I'm jumping out of the car, I'm jacking them up, I'm by myself. It's in all these boys. Clearly I had temporarily lost my mind, but I'm jacking them up. I threw the car in park, I thought. I turned around, what do you think I see? The car going down the street. Lord Jesus, I'm gonna write myself out. How am I explain this? Forget how hard they're laughing at me. Forget the fact I'm jumping back in the car trying to figure out how to stop it from moving and running over a few people. I had to jump back in the car and leave him there, along with my pride for the moment. I threw the car in park. But that's a lesson in life. Sometimes we jump to other things we're not ready for. We haven't finished this thing over here. Sometimes we run over here and we're jacking people up, we're checking out, but we haven't checked ourselves, right? I threw the car in park, so I thought. That's symbolic of your businesses. You think you have a good thing going. You think the customers are coming because you have a good thing going. They're not going to show up until you are uncuffed. They are not going to show up until you believe yourself that what you have is a great product. I am Capri Smith, the Uncuffed living expert. I don't carry business cards. I don't need to. You will find me because you will remember me. You're going to remember 3 things about me. I'm unapologetic. I think I am cute. I think that now. There was a time when I did not. I know that now. And you're going to remember that I don't want your money. Because you know what? I don't really need it. I have 5 streams of income and a very successful husband. And he's fine. Okay? So I don't need your money.
Yes, honey.
But what I need you to do for yourself, not for me, is I need you to release any limiting belief that's holding you back right now. And that product that you're selling right now, that's just one of 5. Because if you don't have 5 streams of income that's really making you income, you're not yet uncuffed. If you're standing before other women and you're saying, hey sister, can you buy this from me? But you haven't uncuffed that mess in your life, stop lying to them because they see right through you. You see through the mess. So Marla, I commend you. This is about you tonight. I'm going to stop right here because I'm going forever. Say my name one more time, Capri Smith, the Uncuffed living expert. I'm an expert because I have the credentials, I have the education, I have the experience. I'm about my business, but at the end of the day, my business speaks for itself. My work speaks for itself. You will remember me. But tonight, I want you to walk away remembering Marla, that this vision you had started how long ago?
Oh, years ago.
Years ago. Here we are today. When you decided that this is going to be your thing, how long did it take you to push it out?
Right. Just a few weeks.
Just a few weeks. So get ready. When you uncuff the mess, everything you want is showing up. I'm living proof. You guys rock out tonight.
And let's get right into the next piece. The next piece, after we've dealt with what resources we're going to use that are free, and we've talked about shifting our mindset, we really need to think about the so what. I am a professor at a wonderful university in Maryland. I'm an adjunct professor, and I volunteer in many different ways. Today, I'm actually volunteering at my middle school son's school, and I am in between. So I figure, hey, let's get some work done. So I'm not really multitasking, ladies. Don't go run doing 10 things at one time. Stick with the one at a time. But I saw a wonderful opportunity to jump into our next piece. Our next piece is going to deal with so what? When I'm teaching my younger ones or my older students, I'm constantly, in training my women, I'm constantly asking them, so what? What's the point? What's the point of it all? What's the point of your life? What's the point of your platform? How are you making things better? How are you making them different? So what? So I'm asking you today, what is your so what? What's going to change if you stand up and say, hey, this is my story? What's going to stay the same? What's your so what? My so what was that many women were waiting on me to tell my story so they could tell theirs. They were waiting on permission to say, go for it, full speed ahead. They were waiting on me to tell them they were winners. Someone out there is waiting on you. It's true. They can't move. They're immobilized. And when I was in the police world, we needed permission to go forward. We needed a supervisor to say, go out, hit the street. And that was after roll call, after we went through all of the announcements and things that we should be made aware of. That's the story of your life. This is your moment. Many people, just like Oprah and Michelle and the many countless women that have taken on this women initiative of just being phenomenal and great, we've given you the permission you needed. All you have to do now is take the steps, go for it. And if you're confused about what that means to you, and you're going to just stay in that cubicle and in that holding cell, look at your computer and tap on it all day and never live your story, then I'm going to ask you, so what? What opportunities did you miss? Now I'm asking, what are you waiting on?
Not to talk about, and we're going to talk about them loudly so that we can all live uncuffed. I'm not stopping until I've uncuffed a whole nation of women. If you'd like to be a guest, or if you'd like to sponsor our show, or just stop through and say hello and share how you're living uncuffed, feel free to do so. Go to womenuncuffed.com and follow me on everything Caprice Lives Uncuffed.
just not living. And when you're living uncuffed, you can talk about sex, you can talk about money, and you can do it all for the glory of God.
Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. It's been so much fun.
Oh, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it. It's been a blast.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're watching Women Uncuffed.